Welcome back to the Russell Fugett Show. This is the Proverbs Report. So glad you're here. Episode 2. This week is Teacher Appreciation Week. Now, I have so many educators in my family. I consider myself an educator, thus this content. Certainly, I've been in the classrooms I work with kindergartens all the way to adult learners. So I've done it. Summer camps, teaching in schools, virtually, in person, presenting, you name it. I'm blessed to have a family legacy rooted deeply in education. My namesake, Joseph R. Fugett, has a middle school named after him in Westchester, Pennsylvania. I've had the chance to go speak there a few times. It's a blessing to be a part of a legacy of educators. I couldn't let this week pass without pulling some biblical wisdom out of the Book of Proverbs to talk about Teacher Appreciation Week, right? So let's start with the question. Think back, who was the teacher who saw something in you before you saw it in yourself? I had great first grade teacher, Miss Brooks, my eighth grade teacher, Mr. Ribzik, my third grade teacher, Miss Blaine, shout all of them out. Had some great teachers in high school, Mr. McKinnon, could think of others as well, some of which have passed away. Had great teachers. Shout out to the late Professor Jerry Watts. I could think of so many others who poured into me during my educational journey. But so who was the teacher that saw something in you before yourself? So again, this week is Teacher Appreciation Week, which is a national moment to pause and honor those shaping the minds, hearts, and futures of the next generation. As a parent, certainly want to shout out the teachers. I have a second grader and a fifth grader. I want to remember all the educators. But beyond that, here at the Proverbs Report, it's a chance to reflect on the Proverbs level wisdom that great teachers live out every day. So let's look at lesson number 1. Great teachers build foundations, and we can find that in Proverbs 22:6. Train up a child in the way he should go. Even when he is old, he will not depart from it. So good teachers don't just teach subjects, they build character, right? They see something in you that you didn't see in yourself, right? They want to work on the rough edges and pull out the blessings, the jewels, the gems that God has placed in you, right? That's what the best teachers do. They show up even when the system doesn't value them, even when our society may not value teachers that they used to. My great grandfather's generation, certainly the teachers were way more valued than they are now. So we want to celebrate and honor the teachers this week in particular, right? So if you have a second in the comments, in the chat, share a quick story of a teacher who shaped your confidence or your calling as you share this, as you put this out. Lesson 2. Teachers' words carry weight. Proverbs 18:21, the tongue has the power of life and death. So similar to how you think about the good teachers, think about the teachers who spoke ill of you, who said you're never going to amount to anything. You hear those stories, people who get famous and say they had one teacher who said they were never going to be anything. They were always going to, they end up in jail, right? They had teachers who just did not have anything positive to say. And so unfortunately, that happens probably more often than we want to believe, and it becomes a reality. It manifests as a reality, right? But oftentimes there are people who overcome that, who counteract that by the grace of God. And so, one kind of word from a teacher can change the trajectory of someone's life, just like one ill word can change the trajectory. So again, words carry weight. Life and death is in the power of the tongue. Proverbs 18:21. So again, encouragement and correction can both be spoken in love, right? You can discipline in love. You can discipline kindly, firmly, and fairly. The best teachers do that, right? So whose words are you still carrying? You want to dig deep and do some of your own work. Whose words from your educational journey are you still carrying, right? And then what words are you speaking to others? If you're a parent, you're a teacher. You're the first teacher. If you're in a community working with other young people, you're a teacher. If you're mentoring people, maybe other adults who are younger than you, or maybe even your peers, you never know. You may have more knowledge in one area. You're teaching. So what words are you speaking over the people who you have the power and authority to speak over? Are you speaking words of life? Are you speaking words of encouragement? Are you saying we can do, you will do, I see it in you? We need more of that in society. So we're celebrating all of our teachers. Don't just think about the grade school teachers or high school or college. If you have the opportunity to speak into the life of someone and share wisdom, share knowledge, share encouragement, you are teaching in a sense, right? So I want to hold that. I want to broaden the category when we think about Teacher Appreciation Week, right? Lesson 3, they walk in quiet faithfulness, right? Proverbs 3:27, do not withhold good from those to whom it is due. So this may be a little not as clear, right? But teachers certainly, I think, walk quietly, model consistency, patience, service, often unseen and unrewarded, right? I think about my great grandfather who taught for like 40 years, right? He went to Cornell, he graduated from Cornell, taught at Tuskegee, then was in New Jersey for a period of time, and then ended up in Westchester. And for like 40 years, he taught, and they named the school after him before he died. So he did receive an award this side of heaven, but that's not why he did it. He did it out of service, out of love for the common good of society, for his fellow man and woman. And that's why he served. He was consistent. He showed up. He was a person of service, right? So again, Proverbs 3:27, do not withhold good from those to whom it is due, right? So let's not just appreciate teachers. Let's elevate them. Let's celebrate them this week. This is so powerful. So who is your teacher you need to thank this week, right? I actually have the chance. I'm still friends with, like on Facebook, with a few of the teachers, a couple of which I just mentioned, right? And so that social media allows it makes it much easier in these days to do that. Take a minute, drop them a DM, comment on their last post randomly, and just say something to them. Thank them, right? You can write a letter, you can send a voice note if you have that level of access to email, right? Post a tribute online. You got a picture or just want to write something, tag them in it. I encourage, this is the week to do it. So do it. And again, maybe you're a teacher right now. Again, you could be a parent, you could be leading in your community, you could be mentoring and don't even realize it. Step into that office, right? Hold that space. Speak life, speak love, speak encouragement, speak can do over people, right? So again, tag or text a teacher who impacted you. And then stay tuned here on the Russell Fugett Show, the Proverbs Report, for more biblical wisdom to honor all of those who shape us. So to all the teachers out there, all the educators this week, thank you so much for how you've poured into me and so many others, and everyone in our community has benefited from a teacher at some point. And for those of you who are teaching, maybe you didn't realize you were teaching, think very carefully about the words you speak. And they have so much power to impact and shape our world. So until next time, this is the Russell Fugett Show. Of course, I'm Russell Fugett. Thanks for tuning into the Proverbs Report. We'll be back in this space again very soon. Peace.